cemetery is over here, and another cemetery over here. And all this, even though it looks like a nice grid pattern of streets that we're all familiar with, this is not what it looked like back in the 1860s.
No, that was called the Great Outside Wastelands.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to show you. You know, when the Anza party came, we have footage of it.
Right? It's amazing what's in that collection.
Yes.
And look, there's a padre with a cross, you know, the church and the military are coming together, right? And they had eucalyptus trees back then.
What is this?
I'll tell you, this is actually a movie that was made called The Pageant of San Francisco that was made in 1915. And it essentially retells the history of the Bay Area, California, really. It takes a little historical license, right? A little artistic license, let's say. It's really short here, but I want to show you. This is, you know, Anza comes and he looks out at this place and he's petting his horse and he goes, I see the Call building. I see skyscrapers. A great city of San Francisco, but not a really great city, like a 1915 great city is coming.
Oh, a vision.
Yeah. And back to his horse. Okay. That's it. Okay. So, John, the eucalyptus trees were not there.
No.
If we're talking about the Presidio and the Anza party and all this, what are they seeing?
Well, you told me not to prepare too much, but I could not. I reread the diary of Father Font, who was the chaplain who came along with the Anza party, and he described, as they approached what's now the Presidio, passing huge areas of wildflowers and grasses on the hills, but not big wood. Manzanita and willow and the arroyos, but this was pretty windswept. This was pretty nothing. The Presidio we know today is pretty much the result of a major planting plan that started in the 1880s. It was called the Jones Plan, and Major Jones was a landscape architect. He already had these guys. And they decided to take this barren, windswept hunk of land called the Presidio of San Francisco and landscape it, both to make it more livable and to make it a more permanent appearance. The Army was still trying to say, we're here, you know,
Yeah.
and this is our land.
So you look at this, I mean, we got a couple cannons up here, but it looks like they're planting trees here, actually. It's all kind of open, Golden Gate. This is sort of what the landscape was like.
Yeah, this is maybe Barbara knows more, but I think this picture was taken about 1890. And by 1892, the report was that there were about 1/3 trees planted on the Presidio. From little teeny ones to ones that were getting some pretty good growth on them. In fact, by 1892, some of the forests had gotten so established that the post commander was complaining that they had a homeless problem in San Francisco back then. And said the tramps were inhabiting the new forest in the Presidio.
Right. Probably from the Richmond District, right? So here, this looks a little more familiar, but again, it's still a lot of open land. You can see the trees are starting to be put in here. But we have these buildings today.
Yeah, it's the Montgomery Street Barracks.
Right.
And might note that the big grass parade ground where off the grid is now, it was basically just oiled dirt in those days. But you can see in the background, the trees have got some good growth on them.
Yeah. So in the Richmond District, if we go past those trees and take a look, the Richmond District, a little earlier than this, it looks like that.
Oh.
So this is Golden Gate Park up here. There's Sweeney Observatory up at the top of Strawberry Hill.
It says 16th Avenue.
Yes, this is 16th Avenue right here. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but it's mostly sand dunes, right? I mean, we don't have, like, you know, we had that map and it was all grid pattern and all this, and while they're planting trees and we have Golden Gate Park going on the other side, the center is kind of sandy and scrubby.
Right, yeah. Another topic, another time, the whole evolution of Golden Gate Park was such an incredible method of conquering the sand dunes that were out there, turning into a man-made landscape. Same thing was happening with the Presidio, but this space in between was just blowing and moving.
Right, and we don't have utilities, and until like really the 1880s, 1890s, we don't have transportation really to these areas. So even though people are buying lots and buying land and looking to speculate, even back then, real estate in San Francisco was a way to get rich, and people were buying lots and trading them on the outside lands. They're not living out here.